In response to Mike Tyson's decision to postpone their bout for July 20th, Jake Paul just made a public statement stating that he wants to face the boxing icon at his peak. He also conveyed his optimism in achieving a spectacular final against the boxing star. In response to Mike Tyson's medical issue, Michael Bisping attacked the fight's organizers for continuing with it in spite of the significant risk to Tyson's health. Not only has Bisping criticized this bout, but other experts have also voiced their displeasure with it. What did they have to say, though? Enjoy the video as we discover in this installment that Jake Paul, who has been actively pushing the fight for months, was shocked to learn that Mike Tyson and him would not be fighting on July 20. Paul was undoubtedly irritated by the most recent information that Tyson had to abruptly withdraw from the fight so close to the scheduled date. Although he didn't mention being frustrated in his public speech, his most recent posts on X seem to indicate that he isn't content with the circumstances he is in right now. A few days prior to the regrettable episode with Mike Tyson, Paul had been diligently trying to get more intriguing bouts on the undercard of the main event. Paul declared that Brazilian superstar boxer Werson and Indian boxer Nara Goya would square off. The WBC Asia title is now held by Nunes Goyet, and many sources suggested that he would face Paul next. Paul is keen to promote boxing worldwide, which is why the undercard featured 4 intriguing fights. These plans, regrettably, had to be abandoned. Instead, the fights are now slated for October through December. In addition, Paul has been subjected to a great deal of abuse on social media for his pursuit of the showdown with Mike Tyson, and he is not pleased with this backlash, saying, "You love to make ___ up before knowing the facts for clicks and likes." He attacked his detractors in a post. Nothing altered. The YouTuber who became a boxer was swiftly criticized by fans, with one commenting. A second user said, "Be ashamed of yourself, you're fighting a 60-year-old man and saying it's the hardest ever." She was speaking to an elderly man who was confined to a wheelchair. It doesn't change the reality that you're essentially at odds with an elderly person who has health issues. Even if you believe that by replying to a user's post on Paul, you've accomplished anything. Paul poked fun at his critics once more, claiming to have heard that they were applauding Paul Tyson's rescheduling. Logan is the one who prevails if karma is unbeaten. Paul is prepared to fight Jake Paul in Mike Tyson's place, and it appears that Jake may finally consent to this match. But Jake has a requirement that the loser must meet. Logan Paul looks like a fantastic choice to succeed Mike Tyson, but this seems improbable. Shah Sanan, a former MMA fighter, recently talked about how Mike Tyson and Jake Paul's battle would be in risk. He stressed the difficulties associated with such high-profile events and looked at many factors that might affect the fight's continuation in light of Tyson's recent medical problem. While he acknowledged that the decision isn't entirely up to Tyson and his staff, he pointed out that once a fight is approved by the commission, it's unlikely to be canceled because of media rumors. In addition, Jake Paul and his management would be crucial in influencing public opinion and media coverage. He clarified that by disclosing additional information and video, the media might intensify the controversy and spread the word that Tyson is unqualified to fight. He emphasized that trying to minimize the issue by a public relations firm could backfire, drawing greater attention to it and possibly additional negative articles. Sanan emphasized that although the commission normally doesn't call off fights due to online stories, they may do so if strong proof or mounting public pressure exists, even if it results in subsequent legal disputes. In addition, Sanan conjectured about the financial ramifications and practicalities of Tyson's replacement should the fight not proceed. He alluded to the possibility of adding a new main event or even boosting an opponent, like Amanda Serrano, who is competing on the undercard. He admitted that Tyson's special draw and Legacy's consideration of other candidates make it difficult to identify a worthy substitute. Sonnen offered names like Darren, although he acknowledged that it's a reach. He acknowledged the contractual issues that both Nate Diaz and George Masvidal had with the UFC, but he also mentioned them. In the end, he suggested Mike Perry as a viable substitute because of his reputation and availability, which may meet the promotional and competitive requirements for a successful Tyson replacement. Sonnen emphasized the need for a backup plan in his closing remarks, as well as the possibility that one currently exists. He emphasized how crucial it is to select a replacement who not only satisfies the standards of the event, but also preserves the legitimacy and attractiveness of the fight. Meanwhile, Michael Bisping believes that the battle should not take place. Concern and criticism were mixed together when Bisping spoke about Mike Tyson's present state of health. Starting with the questionable timing of the event, Bisping pointed out that Tyson's fight with Jake Paul is coming up in just over a month. Even though Tyson is a highly skilled and well-respected boxer, he made it clear that his age and health are serious issues. In her account of the event, Bisping explained how Tyson's medical emergency required paramedics to treat him aboard the aircraft. He made the point that, given Tyson's advanced age and the physical demands of boxing, this does not look good for the promotion of a match. Additionally, Bisping expressed doubts about the ulcer's severity, speculating that Tyson's advanced age would be the bigger problem. He used to be Mike Tyson. Though I adore hearing him talk, nowadays he has an older man's cadence. If his speech is a little slower now that he's older, he's probably throwing his hands up and thinking about Tyson's health. Tyson's performance in training videos may not fully reflect his current ability, according to Bisping, as these footage are frequently edited to just showcase the finest parts. He expressed doubts about Tyson's capacity to compete at a high level for several rounds against a younger prime athlete such as Jake. While acknowledging Tyson's legendary status, Paul Bisping emphasized that aging invariably affects one's physical and mental agility. Additionally, Bisping chastised Jake Paul for going after opponents who were past their peak, seeing it as a tactic to improve his record without taking on real challenges. He drew attention to Paul's tendency of selecting opponents who were either considerably older or not at their best, like as Tyron Woodley and Anderson Silva. Despite his critical position, Bisping called this technique embarrassing and a disservice to the boxing sport. Bisping wished Tyson well and conveyed his appreciation for him, hoping he could still provide Paul with a serious battle. In closing, he reiterated his doubts about the ulcer theory and emphasized the importance of taking Tyson's age and health seriously. Viewers were asked to think about Tyson's condition and the circumstances of the impending battle by Bisping. Teddy Atlas, the former trainer of Mike Tyson, is in favor of the match happening. Mike Tyson, who is 58 years old, is no longer the strong boxer he once was, according to Atlas. Some of Tyson's abilities, such power, muscle memory, and fast reflexes, are still present in him despite his advanced age. Even though Tyson might not have had as much quickness or reflexes, Atlas stressed that his strength is still a big deal, therefore Paul could be in danger during the first few rounds of the battle. He is still in charge if the fight is real. Power is the final attribute to disappear. Reflexes and speed will both decline with time. He still possesses strength and that lightning-fast reflex. If it is true, the early rounds will be. I'm not sure if it's true. I am certain of one thing being true. You are aware of that. They will succeed. Atlas also gave Jake Paul credit for his boxing philosophy. He brought up the battle between Tyson and Roy Jones Jr., pointing out that Tyson was still capable of posing a threat to any opponent because to his strong reflexes. Arenas doubted Paul's ability to prevail in the absence of a rigged match. He didn't think Paul, at the age of 57, could take on Tyson's strength or punch harder than Roy Jones Jr. Arenas noted that Paul's prior opponents were not natural boxers, primarily mixed martial artists, which made them less dangerous than Tyson. He underlined how dangerous Tyson's innate reflexes and hitting power might be. Paul, in an attempt to prevent Paul from suffering a serious injury, Arenas stated that he wanted the bout to be both entertaining and safe. Although Jake Paul is an entertainer, he pointed out that Tyson's strength and unpredictable nature made the fight potentially dangerous. Arenas talked about his own interaction with Tyson, recalling an interview in which Tyson's rage was frightening, emphasizing the perilous threat Tyson posed even at his advanced age. All of that for now. Remember to subscribe to and like the channel. To ensure that you never miss any more videos like this, turn on the bell for the most recent notifications. We appreciate your time and we'll see you in the next video.